I've come to Palma specifically to hunt for super yachts, and I found one. This is a 32-meter Mengi. It's built in 2015, and it's a sale with Ocean Independence, who have very kindly organised a tour of it for me. So we're going to have a look over this one and see what we think. And we're board, as ever in the Mediterranean, via this passerelle. So we'll head on this way. You can see there's a jet ski on the back here, and that's access in through to a lazarette for storage, and the engine space is down there as well. But we're going to come on here first of all, slip my shoes off. This is a very well cared for boat, and you'll see that as we go around it. It really is in lovely condition. So there is seating, as you can see at the back here. A nice low table to drop your drinks onto. And this big overhang to provide plenty of shade. But what is interesting is these drop down balconies on the side. So you can increase the size of this quite a bit. They drop down through 90 degrees to give you a flat deck out. And then those sockets there, you put poles into those and a rail, obviously to make it safe. And then there's a walkway up the side of the boat. You'll see that door at the end. We will see that when we're inside of the boat. So I'll point that one out to you and exactly why that's there. This I like. This is a bar area. And what's great is that you've got this terrific view out across the back of the boat. You sit there with your friends of an evening or your loved ones and have a drink and admire the view. That would be very nice indeed. Anyway, let's head on inside and I'll show you what this fine ship is all about. Now this is super yacht from the minute you step on board. The way that all this is laid out, the amount of space in here, the lighting, the finishes, the quality, it looks fantastic. I love details like this where they've got these little alcoves with things on. You've got things like the drawers, these little stainless steel rails on them to open them. Very nice. And more storage down this side. There's a seating area up ahead. That's a nice, comfortable little lounge area. And in fact, there is a TV built into here. It's mirrored, but the TV actually shines through it. You can drop that panel down, but you don't need to. It will shine right through the mirror. We'll head forward a bit further. Got a stairway here down to the lower deck. We'll do that, of course, in a little while, but we're going to head forward first of all, past the day heads, which is in here. And then up ahead, in typical super yacht style, we have the master cabin, and it's a really nice one because you've got this office area that you walk into first of all, and then separate from that is the master cabin itself. Full beam, as you'd expect, but what is a standout feature is, look at this. I think calling it an ensuite is selling it a bit short. That is your bathroom. Quite literally, there's a bath in it. Very nice. There is, of course, a shower as well. That's in behind this door here. That's a huge rainfall shower. And then out here you've got a sink with the taps built into the mirrors. Very nice. Storage underneath, and the same thing on the other side. Beautifully backlit as well. That looks really good. And in here is the loo. And of course that's a frosted door for privacy, so you can't see through that at all. Excellent. Anyway, let's take a look at the cabin in a bit more detail. How nice is that? Love the headboard. That's a really standout feature, isn't it? And again, you've got that exquisite quality everywhere. Now this is actually an owner's boat and in use. We've been very kind to grant us permission to have a look at this one, so we are being a little bit discreet in terms of opening cupboards and doors. If you're wondering why I'm not doing any of that, that's the reason. There's a TV in here that rises up so you can watch television in bed if you want to. But it is palatial, isn't it? Awesome. Let's go and look at the guest quarters. They're on the lower deck. So we head back through here. That's the saloon and the doorway where we came in, but we're going to turn this way and head down this stairway Love these pillars that they've put here. It's a nice feature. And here are the guest cabins. So in here, these are of course all en suite. You've got a huge double bed. And again, storage down the sides. And in the cupboards either side. And that is the ensuite. Big rainfall shower again. A nice little dressing table tucked away in here. But of course there are 4 of these cabins on this deck, so we've got another one over here. What's interesting, you'll notice, is they've put different finishes in to differentiate different cabins, which I think is a nice touch. So this has got the very dark polished wood. The one that we were just in, well, that's a much lighter finish altogether. And it's a bit like at home, you wouldn't decorate every room exactly the same. And that's not what they've done here. They've added a bit of individuality to each one. You've got big windows in here, blinds down across at the moment, of course. Some neat lighting in the ceiling and along behind the headboard. And again, you've got your wardrobes and a very nice ensuite. And we head aft. These, I think, are actually a little larger, believe it or not. I mean, that would be a master cabin on most boats, wouldn't it? But on here, that's a guest cabin. Incredible. I love the illuminated art. That looks great. Ensuite, as you'd expect. And the shower. Wardrobes across the back wall there. Very nice. And then next to this one, another really big cabin, and this again is in that light finish. Again with a beautiful artwork. Little desk in the corner. There's windows behind the blinds. Well, that is a nice room. Very nice. I think on this size of boat, calling them cabins is certainly a bit short. It's proper bedroom stuff, isn't it? Ensuite is here. And shower again in behind. Big shower. A really big shower. Excellent. That is your guest accommodation. Let's go look at some of the other areas on this boat. So I'm going to head around here. Back up this stairway. And what we find straight ahead of us is the galley. So if we go into here, it's the kind of galley you'd expect on a boat at this level, which is big. And obviously you've got all the cooking arrangements and the dishwasher and so forth. And that door is the door that I pointed out when we first came on, that goes down the side of the boat. So the crew can come from here, out, through, and down the side of the boat. They don't need to go through the accommodation if they don't want to. That's the door where we came in. Massive fridge freezers, of course. And a nice mess area. And the crew area, that is down there. Now we have been asked not to go down there because there's a little bit of work going on at the moment. But there's 4 cabins down there. 2 of them are en suite and 2 of them share heads. So we'll accommodate 8 crew in there. It's quite an area, isn't it? Okay, we'll go back through the door that we came in on. This time, we're going to take a loop round and we're going to go up. So we're back past the main deck saloon. Very nice. And this then takes us up to the wheelhouse. Now people often ask, why is there no seat for the helmsman? Well, the reason for that is because when these boats are on long passage, you're not actually driving the boat. It's not like a car where you stand here and steer. You put it on autopilot, you set your speed, and away you go. The only time you actually tend to use the wheel is when you're manoeuvring and you're in port like this, and what you need then is as much room, as much height as you can get to really see what you're doing with the boat. There are wing stations as well, and I'll show you those in a moment. but that's the reason for that. Once you're out at sea and cruising, you're sat over there and dealing with navigation equipment, keeping a watch, that kind of thing. Good. Little desk at the back here as a captain. Now we can go from here straight up to the Sundeck. It's not normally a guest route, but I mean, obviously they can if they want to, but just for speed, we're going to come out this way onto the Sundeck. So what we have here is seating across the front so that people can sit under the shelter of this screen and watch the coast slipping by. Very nice view. And of course there's dining up here as well. And then this area is catered for by a discreet wet bar in behind here. So you've got your sink, fridges here. That one is an ice maker. And as I say, that caters directly for this area. Big hard top on here, plenty of shade. If you want sunshine, you want to be back here. And that's the route up from the aft deck where we came onto the boat. But look at this beautiful hot tub on the back. That'd be a great place to while away a few hours, wouldn't it? And then right at the back here, we've got some beds. Now these are not fixed, they're freestanding, and the reason for that is because you might have noticed there's a huge crane here, and that means that you can lift the rib when you're on passage up and onto this area. So when the boat's doing some serious distances, that's what you would do with it. And the rest of the time, if you had this set up for guests, then you'd probably tow it. Let's go right to the back. And these fellas here, these are life rafts. Excellent. What we do now is hook back down through that helm position. I'll take a look at the foredeck areas because those are rather lovely as well. So we can come back through here, drop down these steps, and we'll head out of the door on this side and head forward. Now I mentioned wing stations. This is a wing station. So this, when you're manoeuvring the boat, you can actually handle everything from here. So you've got controls for the steering, the bow thruster, you can see the engine instrumentation, and of course the throttles and gears. And the idea of this is that you can stand here, as you reverse the boat in, you've got a perfect view down the side, and there's another one on the other side. And there's a rather lovely reaver going out there. It's a pretty boat, isn't it? Up ahead then, another great lounging area with a terrific view out across the front of the boat. And you've got these sunscreens up above as well for a bit of shade. That's lovely. Let's head right forward. So we can come down here, drop down these steps, and onto the front of the boat. You can see the massive anchor handling kit up here. Gives you some idea of the seriousness of the boat, doesn't it? When you see these sorts of things, they're huge. And then some more low-level seating and sunbeds up on the front of the boat. Again, you get a good impression of the size. It's a really big boat. It's a proper super yacht. Excellent. Let's head on back. This is the other wing station. And again, you can see how close these boats get moored to each other and why that would be a good thing to be able to watch as you come in. And then we can come back here and down these steps. And back down the side to the aft deck where we came on. Now the other area we're going to miss out on, I'm afraid, is the engine room, because there's a bit of work going on at the minute, and again, and this is absolutely perfect, they don't want it being seen. So we're missing out on that, but I can give you some specification and tell you that it's got a pair of Caterpillar C12 engines. They're 490 horsepower each, and they're giving the boat a top speed of around 13 knots. You can cruise at 12. But if you drop the speed back to 8 knots, That's its optimum cruising speed, and that's giving you a range of over 3,500 miles. So you've got some serious distance potential with this boat to back up the super yacht credentials. And that, my friends, is that. Thank you to Ocean Independence for organising that tour. I really appreciate it. And thank you to you guys, as ever, for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.